Good morning, everyone. Ministers, high commissioners, humanitarians, activists, and the young people here. I'm Maryam Ahmad, the Youth Ambassador for Save the Children Nigeria. But I'm standing here not only on behalf of the young children here, but also the young people across Africa. And would like to thank you for recognizing the value in involving us in decision-making processes. So many meetings, many conferences happen, and we're never involved in that. So I would like to thank you and commend you for that. Last month, Purity is the girl champion for Save the Children Nigeria. We went to the northeastern part of Nigeria, which is where the conflict happens, to speak to these children who have been directly been affected by conflicts, to hear their stories, their experiences, and what they want the government to do about it. And we told them that this conference is an opportunity for us to voice out our opinions. And to be honest, the things Purity and I heard were terrifying and devastating. There's so many issues that these children are facing. There's the issue of lack of basic amenities. There's the issue of education, lack of education in the conflict zones, and there's the issue of violence against children. But I don't want to go into the technical part. I want you to hear what these kids have said, and in quote, they have said, "We do not have enough health workers, and because of that, there's lack of medical attention, there's lack of doctors. We do not have teachers. Everybody is running away. Nobody wants to be transferred there. Medications and health equipments are very limited because they need to be transported to the hospitals, and on their way there, the trucks get hijacked by the armed groups. So there's a very limited number of those equipments." The children also said, "We go to school, but we don't know how to read or write." You see a child who's in their last year of secondary school, but he or she still doesn't know how to spell their name. There's also, kids also said, 10 of us share one notebook. 10 students share one notebook for school. This is from Mali. Then, on violence against children, the boys said many of us were recruited as members of the armed groups. And I want to tell you about a boy who's around the age of 9, who was recruited as a member of the armed groups, and now he's a general amongst them at 9. So you can imagine he's already used to killing. He's already used to handling guns. So I have a question. I want you to address this and also think about it over the course of this conference. How does your law in your various countries, how does your law address children who have been recruited into armed groups? In your law, are they the perpetrators or are they the victims? Because the fact of the situation is they are still kids, they're still children. I want you to think about that. And also the girls said many of us were raped and forced to get married to members of the armed groups. We don't want this to happen. We didn't ask for this, but we're the ones who are in the middle of the situation. Nobody's asking us what we want. Nobody's asking us how we feel. We're not being involved in these decision-making processes. We don't want war. We want this to be fixed. And and I'm not just speaking about my experiences. I had the privilege of meeting these young kids, these young adolescents who are from DRC, Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Mali, and Ethiopia. And all our issues are similar. All our recommendations are all the same. So we came together and made up our recommendations for you as high-level policymakers on what we want you to do regarding children living in armed conflicts. And the recommendations are that we want increased security in our schools and our communities. We also want access to clean water and sanitation, both in schools and in communities. Because when I spoke to the children in the Northeast, many of them said they don't even have drinking water in the schools. So they have to walk home to drink water. So if before you walk home to drink water or use the toilet and come back home, the class has already started. The class may have probably been halfway done because the schools are also far away from the communities. We want access to playgrounds. This is very, very important. We want access to playgrounds because our psychosocial health is crucial. It won't be a surprise if you hear a child living in a conflict zone telling you he doesn't know what a playground is. Children are meant to be playing. A child's toy should be a Barbie doll or an action figure, not a gun. We want more involvement of traditional leaders and community leaders, religious leaders, because in fact, they are the gatekeepers of the communities, and nothing happens without them being aware of it. So we want to see more involvement of traditional and religious leaders. Once again, would like to thank you very much for involving us in this conference and listening to our voice, for listening to us voice our opinions and our experiences and our stories, and we commend you for that. Lastly, we want to see action. There's so many situations where there's conferences, people make commitments, but it just ends in the meeting room, it ends in the conference room. So we want to see action being taken beyond these 2 days. Thank you very much.